13 hours, 104,000 steps, 50 miles. I completed my first 50-mile ultra marathon after losing 170 pounds. Hey, my name is Cameron Crocker, and if you don't know or you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I used to weigh 411 pounds. Since then, I've lost 170 pounds, and I've gotten very active in the sport of running. I'm not good at it, I'm not fast, but I am really good at suffering. With that, I decided this last summer to sign up for a 50-mile ultra marathon. I had at this point only done a marathon. I did a 50K sort of birthday celebration. I did 33 miles on the dam down and back.
I'm honestly quite impressed. Still 11 minutes, baby.
And with that, I wanted to put together a video for you guys to say what I believe are the 3 things that made my first 50-mile ultra marathon a success. So for starters, the 3 things that I believe made my first 50-mile ultra marathon a success are nutrition, crew, and pacers. Now you don't need all of them, but you definitely do need your nutrition. So for me, I had put together this list of my nutrition plan. And for this race, I was extremely detailed. I had worked with a nutritionist who is one of my good friends, and we laid out a plan of what I needed to consume at and along each aid station. So before each aid station or getting to them, I had a nutrition plan. So in my bag, I had BP and Go gels, salt tablets. I used Sucker Punch, which is like little pickle shots. They're 500 milligrams of sodium, and that's like the main thing I use them for. 2 scoops of Tailwind in each of my water bottles, and then I had the 2-liter pack on my back. Now the 2-liter pack wasn't as necessary because it did rain all day, and my sodium tablets became less of a concern because again, it was raining all day, so I wasn't sweating a real salty sweat like I normally do. So with my nutrition, I get into that first aid station and I feel pretty good. I felt like I did. And my wife goes, "Cameron, what's wrong?" And I go, "Nothing, I feel great. I met Kevin along the way. Kevin and I are vibing. We're gonna get in and out of this aid station real quick and I'm gonna be on my way." My wife goes, no, you're not." My wife had my dad, my brother, and herself there at that aid station. And they knew the plan. I had told them the night before what my nutrition plan was. So this kind of leads into the importance of crew. Now, my wife is not a runner, so she knows what the sheet says. She looks at me, she notices I'm pale. She says, "No, you only consumed half of what you said you needed to, and I can tell you're pale. No one else around you looks pale. They're all red, flushed because it's kind of cold. You're pale. So I need you to consume all of what you have before this next aid station, or I'm making you stick around and finish it." The crew's there to think about the things that you don't have time to think about. Your brain is so jumbled, and it was so stressful, but it was like I was also having fun because I'm finally here, right? I trained for this moment. I'm finally here. And so that crew is good for keeping your spirits up, but it's also good for tracking the thing that you're maybe not tracking, which for me, an early loss of calories, which in ultra marathons, not a good thing. Getting behind on calories early on can lead to a bonk later on. So I focused on that to the next aid station, and I came into that one. My wife says, "You're looking awesome. Here's your reload." And then they reloaded everything. I ate a waffle with Nutella and some peanut butter. It was awesome. I get to moving on to my next aid station with Kevin.
Yo, Kevin, how you feeling? We are just shy of a marathon's distance.
Kevin and I ran from mile 5 to mile 27.3. Kevin was a good friend of mine. Shout out Kevin, so thankful I met you. I also have to quickly apologize because I abandoned Kevin at this next aid station. And that leads me into the last part of that, which is pacers. I have 2 extremely awesome friends who went out of their way to show up at this race for me and pace me for different sections of it. The first pacer, her name was Sophia. Sophia is awesome. She's a badass. She did the San Juan Solstice run. She DNF'd after spraining her ankle 3 miles in, but she made it to mile 40 before she got timed out. That's insane. She's a badass. She also did the Tushers, like, I think it was the 70K. It's a hard mountain, like a really crazy mountain run, and that's awesome. So when I get into this next aid station, she's there and she's alert and ready and she's excited to go back out, and she's keeping me on track, right? So my crew's handling all my bag, all my, making sure my feet were ready and making sure that I wasn't thinking about all the little things. They were thinking about all that. Sophia was thinking about the next step. And it was also just so fun to be out of the environment of, a race and in the environment of two friends hanging out, having a good time, doing something we both love. That was cool. And so as we come into the next aid station, she starts playing the Rocky theme song.
This is the easiest run I've ever done.
Yeah, you're doing great.
We're coming in and I'm dancing and I'm having a jolly good time. And we get into that aid station and Derek's there. And Derek is also a badass. He had just run the 50K. He got second in the 50K at that same race and made it to this next aid station, is gonna pace me for the next 7 miles. We move into this next section and his goal again is to make sure I'm doing the things I'm not thinking about. Which in this case, I kept slowing down and he, when talking without bringing it up, would speed up the pace. As we're coming into this last aid station, here's a clip of it. But I look over and he's walking and I feel like I'm running. And I look at him and I'm like, dude, you gotta run. I look so bad right now. And he goes, okay. And he runs for like 4 seconds. He's like, no, we're walking. I was like, whatever. Kept my attitude really good the whole time. I am beat coming into mile 43. We get to pick up my brother. My brother's energy is phenomenal. Obviously, he's feeling good. He's been crewing all day, so he's really excited to be out there. He trained for like a month for this. He's not a runner, no real experience in running, but he knows that he doesn't have to run the whole thing. So for those of you that don't know, little secret, there's a lot of walking in ultra marathons for people who aren't elite. So we get into this last 7 mile stretch and it is a narrow tunnel. I can see all the way to the end of the 5 mile stretch that before the turn. I can see it. Cars drive by. I can see every one of them. And it never feels like it's getting closer. The two guys that I'm with, Derek and Cody, are talking and they're having a good time. Cody's managing pace because again, Derek's also now 40 some miles in. So Cody's managing the pace for both of us and he's keeping it up. And if I go back and look, some of our fastest miles between those were when we picked up Cody. So we get about 2 miles out and I can feel it. I can feel so much pride. For those of you who've never done it, I recommend getting rid of that negative self-belief where I can't do it is something you say because goddamn does it feel really good to see that finish line, see your family there, see people that matter to you and they get to live in your success in that moment and you just are completing something so hard and so few people do it. There's just no feeling like it. So I come across the finish line and I immediately start bawling my eyes out. And I have to say that without my nutrition plan, without my crew and without my pacers, I wouldn't have been able to do it. It was so hard, but I had so many people show up for me and I have a great family and I have great friends and that made this whole thing so successful. And so for those of you going out there to do your first one, if you can have at least your nutrition locked in, I know you can do it. A year ago, you told me I'm gonna run 50 miles, I would have called you a liar. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I've got more content related to this topic coming out soon. And on top of that, I signed up for a 100 miler. We're gonna be doing it. So that one has hills. We'll see how we do. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.